Dwayne, much needed win after the first two against Cardiff.
Yeah, important to win at home, obviously. I think that derby game, and it was nice to get out on top of it. I think, obviously South Africa's always going to be a difficult trip for us. First two games, but it was important to get back and get some form now going into these next big games coming ahead, really. Obviously derby game last week and a big challenge again this week, and the Lions coming here. They're a big physical team. So they beat us last year, and I think that it's important that we continue that form and find some momentum, really.
It becomes more important given what you've got 3 away games on the bounce.
Yeah, 3 away games to go after that. So I think playing here is always important to us, and I think that to get the win here is important. So, it's been a big challenge this week. We know that, but I think that the boys have responded really well over the last 2 weeks. They trained well. There was another good session this morning. So, looking forward to this weekend, really.
That Lions game came at the end of your trip out there last year. They unfairly are sort of labelled the fourth South African side, but they've got more just than the physical element as well.
Definitely, I think that obviously they've got some pace out wide, and they'll hurt you on transition if you give them opportunity. They're obviously going to be very good in our 22, good strong set piece, so we're prepared for that, obviously. And but look, it was a good game here. We played them here 2 years ago. It was a good game of rugby, and in someone like Hendricks 10, he's got a big boot on him as well, who can kick the ball out of hand a long way, but also punish you off the tee. So I think discipline's going to be an important one. But you're thin on the ground in terms of injuries again. It's piled up very quickly. Yeah, very quickly. Obviously, some disappointing ones over the last 2 weeks is the honest truth. I think obviously losing Josh McLeod captain last week was a tough one. Sam Costelow again on the weekend, and Johnny Williams as well from the Wales game. So they're both unavailable. So that's a disappointing one, obviously, from the Wales Barbarians game. So they'll be unavailable this week.
Can I ask you about Sam? What's the prognosis regarding him?
Yeah, he's got a hamstring tear and a shoulder issue. So we're not expecting him in the short term. It'll be beyond Christmas, beyond the New Year, I'd say, that before we see him. I haven't got an exact date. We're still waiting on the final prognosis and some specialist opinion really on that. So, disappointing one for us because he's going to be out for the large part of the season really, first half of the season. And Johnny Williams, another hamstring injury from the game on the weekend. So, I don't know the extent of that. We're still waiting on a scan for him.
I probably don't need to ask you how you feel about it, given that it's happened when it's happened.
Yeah, I was obviously disappointed with those two players, and disappointing for us because they're international quality players, and they've played very well for us. So, yeah, it's a bit uphill really, but look, we just got to move on now. It's done. They've had the injuries. We move on and make sure that. We prep well. I think opportunity for someone else. Obviously, Owen Lloyd gets an extended run, obviously in that 10 slot, and it's good for him as well because I thought that was his best game on the weekend for us in terms of running, controlling the game. Then, we know how exciting talent he is with the ball in hand, but I think in terms of controlling the game, very good. So a chance of growth for him, and obviously losing Johnny as well. But we saw Eddie play very well on the weekend as a young guy who is a big prospect for us, one we're excited about. So it'll be good to see him go again. And and I think like that combination of centres we have, those young guys coming through, they're going to be good ones.
Josh, I think happened after you spoke last week. I mean, it's happened before him. It just desperately rotten luck with injuries, and when they happen. As well. Yeah, when and how really. It was just beyond the warm-up really that we named as captain. He gave good talk in the changing room, or good talk in the team room, which is, he's been excellent in terms of his leadership quality, and for it to happen to him in such a innocent way really. So it's disappointing for him. He's bitterly disappointed is the truth of it, but. Look, he's come back from big injuries before, and he'll have a large part to play off the field now for the foreseeable future. But then, obviously, when he comes back around about the Christmas New Year time,
he'll be invaluable for us in terms of leadership on the field as well as off it.
In terms of fitness and injuries, not sure where you are, if you're expecting anybody back that hasn't featured, or
no,
how are you?
I don't think. No, we're not expecting too many back this week. There's a couple of weeks yet before we see probably Sam Lousi and Dan Davis as the honest truth. Obviously getting Tom Rogers, Kieran Hardy back.
They're all back. The internationals are all back.
Internationals are all back. Tane Plumtree as well, back with us. Harry O'Connor. Ryan Elias as well. He's back from the World Cup, so that's obviously a boost for us. And he brings a lot of leadership, and he's obviously a big man as well. So it obviously helps in that forward pack.
You spoke about Lee Halfpenny last week, but news that he is going to New Zealand. Great opportunity for him, and a brilliant place to go to, obviously, to play rugby.
Yeah, fantastic. I think that he obviously deserves every accolade, and it'd be a great way for him to close off his career, really, to go and play Super Rugby. It's obviously something that's it's a fantastic challenge for him, a great opportunity, and I'm sure he'll come back from there. Loving it, really. I think they've been the standard bearers of rugby, I suppose, in the Southern Hemisphere, if not globally in terms of team and club team. So, look, I think it's a great opportunity for him to learn, and I'm sure that moving into that he wants to go into a coaching role, etc., or he wants to start coaching. I'm sure that will be invaluable for him in terms of picking up experience for his next step, I suppose.
Just on Sam, obviously don't want to dwell too much on the injury, but he was getting to a place where you could see the maturity in his game for yourselves and for Wales as well. Obviously, he came off the bench 11th hour against Georgia and did a job there. He was getting to the player that we've seen, the promise that he's shown over the past few years.
Yeah, look, and there's loads more to come from him. And it's obviously a setback in his career at the minute, so to have this injury. But look, even at the game of the weekend, I thought that he showed some really nice touches. I remember a pass off the left hand side off a scrum, missed ball to George. Obviously getting that try across, but I think he's becoming an all-rounded player, and I think that's just come from time. Really, you need, as tens, we've spoken a lot about Ioan Lloyd, and it takes time. It takes time to bed in, but the more he gets time in that saddle, and the more he gets to lead, then I'm sure he'll fulfil what promise we think he has, really. He's been excellent for us in terms of leadership over the last year. He's massively grown for us. Next step for him is obviously to go to that next level, but so it's a good opportunity for him now as well to watch him rugby and to study the game as well. So when he comes back, he's ready to go.
Dwayne, buddugoliaeth oedd angen arnoch chi wedi'r dwy gêm gynta?
Ie, bendach. Mae daith i'r Affrig wastad yn anodd ynglyn â canlyniadau wedi bod i ni, ond oedd e'n bwysig bod ni'n dod nôl a bod na tu ôl ni a neud siŵr bod ni'n rhoi perfformiad gytre, chybod. Oedd ei hanner cyntaf digon sigledig ar y degau, ond pam geithon ni cyfle i ware, o'n i'n meddwl o'n i'n dda, a sgôr ni'n cwbl y ceisiau neis, a yn y diwedd oedd hi'n braf i cael y pinpoint.
Oedd eisiau hwnna falle'n fwy o ystyried, mae yna 2 gêm nawr a 2 gêm oedd i cartre hefyd?
Ie, 2 gêm oedd i cartre gyda ni, bod 2 nhw yng Nghymru, so dyw e ddim rhy ffôl, chybod, ond ynglyn â buddugoliaeth wrth y sy'n, mae hwnna'n bwysig i ni hefyd, chybod, a mae bob gêm yn un gartre yn un bwysig i ni, a chybod, maen nhw'n mynd i fod yn dasg anodd, maen nhw'n tîm gorfforol, maen lot o cyflymder gyda nhw, a hefyd mae gen nhw ciciwr sy'n gallu cosbi chi pam chi'n wachus a diffyg disgybliaeth, felly mae'n mynd i fod yn gêm anodd wrth y sy'n, bwysig bod ni'n paratoi'n dda, gaethon ni sesiwn dda bore yma, sesiwn tîm brynhaw ma nawr, a wedyn mewn i gweddill yr wythnos edrych mlaen at y gêm.
Maen nhw'n dîm sy'n falle yn anheg, falle ddim yn cael ei ystyried gyda'r 3 arall, ond mae digon gyda nhw gynnig gyda'r elfen gorfforol, a maen nhw'n gallu waren llydan hefyd.
O, yn bendant. Hanner cyfle sy'n gyda nhw. Os chi'n rhoi cyfle nhw yn y tir agored, maen nhw'n gyfle mewn beth yw nhw'n gorfforol iawn, yn ywedig yn dwy'n hygen amasodol. Maen nhw'n gorfforol a maen nhw'n gallu cadw'r llinell fantes, sgarmes a sgrym pwerus gyda nhw. Felly, mae'n mynd i fod yn dasg anodd yn amlwg, ond edrych mlaen at ydi a bwysig i ni trio cael bach o momentum nawr dros y gemau nesaf. Mae'n amlwg gêm fawr wrthos sy'n, a wedyn mynd i ddilyn wrthos nesaf, ond momentum yn rhan perfformiad sy'n bwysig. Os gallwn ni wneud ni, allwn ni cico mlaen yn siŵr. Mae'n
anffodus mae'r anafiadau'n cynyddu, mae hynny'n ffactor dych chi'n ar?
Mae'n ffactor, achos mae chwaraewyr allweddol mas gyda ni, pobl fel Sam Lousi, McLeod, Sam Costelow a Johnny Williams nawr hefyd. Ddim ar gael wythnos sy'n, felly mae'n bwysig i rhywun, mae'n rhoi cyfle i rhywun arall i step o lan, efo mae'n gweud, ond os gallwch ni trwyddo hwn a cael perfformiad da a cael buddigoliaeth, wedyn mae'n mynd i cryfau'r garfan am gyfan gwbl. Amser bydd y boes yna nôl, maen nhw'n mynd i ychwanegu'n amlwg. Ond mae'n cyfle i rhywun arall a ni digon ffyddiog gyda boes sy'n chwarae.
Beth yw'r sefyllfa gyda Sam Costelow a Johnny Williams? Pryd i chi yn disgwyl bod nhw'n ôl ydych chi?
Fi credu yn y flwyddyn newydd bydd Sam Costelow. Sa'n credu bod Johnny Williams yn mynd ddifrifol, ond ni'n aros am sgan i fe, i fod yn onest, ond byddai sa'n siŵr ble mae fe, falle byddai'n iawn wrthos nesaf, wrthos nhw'n sa'n siŵr, i fod yn onest, ond gyda Sam yn amlwg anaf digon cas o bydde mas tan y flwyddyn newydd.
Allai ofyn i chi, o chi'n rwystredig o Toby Booth yn rwystredig ac yn poeni falle bydde rhywbeth fel un yn gallu digwydd pan o bosib bydde rhai'n cwestiynu oedd angen gêm, mae'n ychwanegu at y rwystredigaeth nawr yn amlwg.
Mae'n ychwanegu at y rwystredigaeth yn amlwg oherwydd bod chi'n colli chwaraewyr, doi o chwaraewyr gorau, ond mae hwnna rhin fath o rwystredigaeth a petai nhw'n cael anaf yn ymarfer neu gyda ni. Ddim yn gallu gwneud dim byd yn bwyty'r gêm, a mae'r gêm wedi cael ei gosod a mae'n digwydd. Gêm rygbi oedd dim o'r yn gatlyn ddim yn mynd mas, a treol anafu neb, a dim bai y gêm, a'r ffaith bod nhw'n chwarae rygbi yw, mae'n amlwg. Mae'n anodd i ni, achos ni'n colli chwaraewyr gorau, felly na ni fel y mai a mae rhaid ni ymdopi dy fe nawr a symud ymlaen.
Ond mae rhywbeth fel yna yn gallu rhoi cyfle i rhywun fel Ioan Lloyd sydd wedi bod yn wario i chi ac i gael rhyw fath o gysondeb o ran gemau nawr.
Bendant, mi gynnach, mae cysondeb yn bwysig pan chi wario rhif deg a mae cael gemau'n wythnosol yn bwysig oherwydd bod chi'n dysgu trwy amser. Felly gweld patrwmau, gweld ffordd mae'r gêm yn symud. A mwy gyfforddus mewn i fod gyda'r tîm, o ran arwen y tîm. Felly mae'n cyfle i fe a gweithio nawr lle fe cymeryd y cyfle, achos pwy o'r nawr gyda Iowan, mae gwrdd cyfle dy fe nawr i boi farge ar y Crys Cymru na, chybod. Na beth mae'n rhaid i fe edrych am i ni yn amlwg gyda, chybod, ond mae fe'n chwaraewr talentog iawn.
Problem yw, dim deg amlwg gyda Cymru ar lefel ryngwladol chwaith,
Na, bendant, felly mae'n cyfle iddo fe i'w boi law lan fyna, fi'n teimlo, chybod. Ni wedi gweld wario Cymru o blaen, a mae'r gallu dy fe i fod yn chwaraewr ryngwladol heb os.
O ran Josh, mae anlwg gyda anafiadau, mae pawb yn gwybod amdani, a pryd mae'n digwydd, allwch chi ddim sgrifennu fe rili, yr nifer o anafiadau mae wedi cael, a chwaraewr sy'n mor bwysig i chi.
Mor bwysig, mor allweddol, ond boi sy'n ymroi fyd, hwnna'n bwysig i chael, mae fe'n ymroi siwgr mewn i'r Crys a mae'n dwlu wario'r clwb. Mae ni'n enwi fe'n gapten blwyddyn hyn am reswm dda, achos bod e'n meddwl siwgr mewn i fe i wario yma. Mae'n boi o'r Gorllewin, mae'n boi o Sir Benfro, mae'n joio wario a mae'n teimlo drosto fe, achos mae fe'n amlwg yn twmlo ofnadw bod wedi cael anaf, ond dygu dim i fai yw mae fe'n ymroi gwmyn am ei gallu a anaf digon, bydde chi ffili credu beth digwyddodd chybod ynglyn â fel gath yr anaf, felly siomedig i ni gyd i fe a'r garfan a chybod, fe'n amlwg fel y fforddwr, ni'n teimlo dros Josh, ond fi'n gwybod beth mae fe'n mynd i roi ni dros wythnosau nesaf nawr a beth roi pam deiff yn ôl.
Nes ti dal i teyrnged i Lee Halfpenny wythnos diwetha, mae newyddion bod e'n mynd mas i Seland Newydd am flwyddyn. tipyn o le i ware rygbi, tipyn o gyfle iddo fe?
Gyfle arbennig i fe, chybod, i diweddglo i garfa dde. Chybod, bydde neb gallu gofyn gwell. Chwmyn i teams i felly wedi gosod safon ynglyn â rygbi rygbi y byd, really. Sa'n gobeithio rygbi rwngwladol, dim na bydde we, ond chybod, nhw sydd wedi gosod safon, a maen nhw wedi bod yn tîm arbennig o dda, a fi siŵr dysgu fel lot, chybod. Amlwg mae fe'n cystadlu gyda chwaraewyr fel Will Jordan sy'n mynd i fod yn anodd i fe i bwysio un am un o'r tîm, ond os dysgu fel rhywbeth a bod wedi mwynhau'r profiad, wel, bydde'n arbennig i fe.